Correctly, Li Jiao was 42 years old at the time of that victory, and ZHU Yuling was world rank number 3. Edge of the table for ZHU Yuling to take the first point. Now, Li Jiao has been here as a coach as well. Tough to tell from my seat, but I think she might be in the corner now. Have a chance to see between games. It's always nice to have a coach in your corner who recently beat your opponent. There's that cracking forehand, but it doesn't come down. Very patient play in the pushing game. Not as easy as it looks. ZHU Yuling at the top of the screen to play those pushes in just a way that Li Jia's not able to come in and just pounce on it and steal the points. No, not 3 in a row. Huge attack. Deep to the backhand, the short side of the table. Still, ZHU Yuling's able to keep it in play. This shot right here looked like it should finish it for sure. Li Jia, I think, was a little indecisive. If she comes in and catches that ball at the peak, her forehand attack will finish it. Now, as a defender, that backhand serve is quite common to keep the defender central on the table. They can quickly cover, be in the defensive position, also turn for a high ball to the forehand or middle of the table. Too wide. Ball sits up a little bit inside the table. ZHU Yuling's there to take the angle. Job well done. Right into the middle again. Now, Li Jia, don't know if you can tell from here, but is quite tall. If I had to guess, I'd say about 5'8" for those using feet and inches. In the world of metrics and centimeters, you think about that for a minute. I'd put it around 174, 175 centimeters. Very encouraging lead here in the first game for the top seed, ZHU Yuling. Oh, Li Jia, incredible points. Sounded like the sole of her shoe had almost torn off on 2 different shots in this. Stops herself on a dime, gets back in. That one right there was crazy. Off the short pips, it comes back, a knuckleball low to the net. All right, off the bounce, quick decision. Very comfortable with the topspin, ZHU Yuling. This is the danger for choppers also. If you play a topspin shot back and it's not right at the baseline of the table, doesn't have a variety of spin or a lot of pace on it, your opponent can take it comfortably off the bounce.
1-9.
There it is, crushing forehand out to the corner. A very dominant game. Just looking at the scoreboard here for ZHU Yuling. These are the types of points that Li Jia needs to be looking for. I think we'll see more throughout the match. Speaking of which, thank you, Li Jia. There's the curse of the commentator where you say something and the exact opposite happens, and then there are times where it sounds like the player might be listening to the broadcast. Well played right into the crossover point, and it's 7 game points for ZHU Yuling. Backhand attempt, less rotation from those short pips. It does not come down. Game 1, ZHU Yuling takes it 11-3 over Li Jia, and we'll be back for game 2. Stay right here. for game number 2, players at the table. So Li Jie finding that forehand attack for a few points in a row, very late in game 1.
Li to serve,
but still hasn't been able to get the backhand attack into play. Again, with the short pips, there's less need for the twiddle of the racket.
1 love.
Typically, the red side of Li Jie's racket will be the defensive side. Trying to think if I've seen her twiddle for a backhand shot. Players with long pips, the more traditional defensive rubber, will turn the racket around to get the smooth rubber on their backhand before attacking. Look at this. This is what the doctor ordered. It's the ingredient that she will need to bake a cake of success to take game 2. Placement on the table, not just cross court, but mixing it up. Parallel attack there. So we could only see ZHU Yuling there for a moment on screen, but you could hear by the sound of the ball that Li Jie was able to keep it in play. Quick reaction time. A little bit of shadow rehearsal there, Li Jie trying to study the bounce of the ball. Again, the racket speed, the tackiness of the rubber on the forehand combined, of course, with the technique of ZHU Yuling. A little bit different bounce that many players are used to. Ball comes in with a lot of impact, a lot of rotation. You can see Li Jie looking for the opportunity for the attack. At the first towel break of the game, ZHU Yuling's keeping her away from the table. This is where she wants her. Again, the modern defender trying to stay as close to the table as possible. It's one of the most impressive things German national team coach Shep, chopping in the practice hall, stays nice and close, but again, the short side of the table. Li Jie very calm and loose. Sees the opening and plays it down the line. Good idea, had the opening cross court, and it was the bullet push. It was the most impressive shot for me, deep on the table and quick. I think a lot of people forget how difficult pushes can be when you have to keep the ball low enough and specific enough on the table to deter the attack. Well played. Li Jie with a quality push coming rushing into the table. And this is a classic tactic that ZHU Yuling is using. Push the ball shallow on the table, bring the defender in, and then attack while they're close to the table. Don't have as much time to react. And similarly, the pressure to keep that push low. ZHU Yuling, if she leaves it up just a little bit, Li Jie has shown time and time again in this game as she's leading that she can attack when she's in close. Where does this come from? I don't know, I'd love to see this shot again. It's like a tomahawk push. Thank you very much, team. There it is. Turns the racket head up to the side like a tomahawk serve and jabs it fast. No, just changes at the last moment. Looked like she wasn't sure if she'd be able to get the attack. Goes for the flat hit, not able to keep the rotation on the ball. Yeah, that dip of the racket at the last moment cost her some time. Puts the racket down low. Just tough to come into the ball that way. There it is, counterattack. Little apology there. Not sure if it took a piece of the top of the net, but it's a 3-point lead for Li Jie. Now, in World Cups past, pressure has gotten the best of ZHU Yuling. She managed to come back in 2015 from down 0-3 against Georgina Pota.
6-8.
Hungry to get that attack, Li Jie. Percentages still in her favor on the attack. I don't think that should slow down her attack, but shot selection and decision making are so important at this level of play, and especially for a chopper deciding to attack. Ooh, fast floater. Now with the short pips, for those of you newer to table tennis, those pips, the bumps that look like Legos on the racket, when they're shorter, the player can get a little more grip on the ball than if they were longer and vary the spin. Oh, short side again. This is the sweet spot for Li Jie. She's got 4 game points now. I mean, after game 1 losing 11-3, it seemed out of reach. That's a very difficult ball, especially from behind the table with such a low spinny shot coming in. Surprise, surprise, world. Li Jie has tied it up. The first 2 games are split. And once again, Netherlands bringing a challenge for ZHU Yuling. Game number 3, we'll see who takes the lead right after this. Last quarter final of the night, game 3 coming right up.
So we are now tied at 1 apiece. Ladies and gentlemen, just want to let each and every one of you know that the lucky draw is coming up at the end of this matchup. Who's feeling lucky in here? Who wants to walk away with some prizes, courtesy our sponsors? Ladies and gentlemen, on a serious note, I just need to let you know, when the athletes are exiting the court side, I know everybody wants to get a photograph. Everybody wants to get an autograph. And we understand your excitement, but we please ask you not to rush the athletes. For their own safety and for your own, please don't rush towards the athletes when they're leaving or exiting the ringside here.
Third game.
Back for game number 3, Li Jie on the scoreboard with the game here, from the attacks to that tomahawk push. Now, one of the best chances a foreigner has against any of the big 4 from China is if they're under pressure. If they can take games early in the match, get their opponent to tense up a bit. Li Jie, so far, has shown that she's been able to do that. Yes, it's early in the match, but that's when the games need to come to keep the pressure on. Excellent patience from both sides. Li Jie coming rushing into the table, not racing, looking for the attack. I don't recall an attack so far. Li Jie hasn't dropped a point yet. Hasn't even needed to pull out the big guns. Clever idea, trying to load it up with that hammer chop. Really looking like Thor out there, just dropping it from straight up to straight down.
2-3.
A little trouble in the receive game as well. 2 quick points for ZHU Yuling. Counter-attack from in near the body. So the first towel break of the game, and Li Jie leading by 2. That's probably the cutest towel I've seen. At least in the towel box. Not in my life, just in the towel box. Crowd trying to get Zhu Yuling involved, trying to pump her up. Again, a lot of Chinese national team supporters here. A lot of Chinese fans.
4-3.
Now, I don't know if sloppy is the perfect term, but a few of these balls going a little loose, not ending on the note, victorious attack. For example,
3-5.
as soon as this ball sits up a little bit, Li Jie's got it calculated to a T. Look at this deep serve. That receive leaves a lot to be desired for Zhu Yuling. And that fast push once again. Li Jie's been able to really control with the forehand rubber, mind you. A fast push that's thrown off Zhu Yuling. But also Li Jie's receive here leaves a higher ball for Zhu Yuling. Beautiful play from Zhu Yuling. A little bit of side spin on that forehand chop from Li Jie, but it doesn't phase Zhu Yuling. She's able to handle the forehand to backhand transition, the difference in chops. Not to mention the amount of rotation on the ball when Li Jie comes running into push after she receives a push. Whoa! I was wondering when we were going to see that shot. You know, hindsight is 20/20. But this shot right here looks like an unwise shot to take. That's just a really low percentage shot. Look how low this loop is, and it comes back even lower and countered. Well, bravo to Li Jie for making an unlikely shot in a high-pressure situation to extend her lead back to 2. A little bit too fast on the first ball. If you have the confidence to do it, if you have a clean read on your chopper's chop, it's a little inside the table, yeah, put the pressure on early, by all means. And another loose point goes to Zhu Yuling to tie it up. I think it's very important for Li Jie to take this game. A 2-1 lead keeps the pressure on, keeps Zhu Yuling tense. It's the best chance Li Jie has.
7-8.
3 in a row for Zhu Yuling, stepping into the lead for the first time I can recall in this game. Definitely, because she was down 0-3, and after that, ever since. Ooh, no attack needed. Tied up. We saw with Mo Zhang, game 4 was the crucial one against Zhu Yuling. Had a good chance to tie it up at 2 each. This right now feels like definitely the most crucial game yet. No counterattack, edge of the racket does not come down on the table. Li Jie has made more impressive shots. I mean, she's won the point off of counterattacks that were less expected than this, just a little bit late on that contact. This is not the Li Jie forehand that we're used to. Her forehand is a much flatter stroke that comes in and covers the ball, as opposed to a loop from down low. An arcing spin shot, and now it's 2 game points for Zhu Yuling at the 3rd towel break. I'm a little bit surprised when Li Jie went for that counterattack. What exactly, if she had made the shot she wanted, it would have looked like. It's sort of tough to imagine. So now 2 serves if she gets the first point here. That's as fast as you can deliver a point. Fast long serve from the backhand. Second serve here, second game point for ZHU Yuling. Oh no, it gets away from her after a quality serve and setting up the point well. A break here for ZHU Yuling. Patience pays off and she manages to come back after being way down, what, 5-8? The recovery, and it's just a 2-point differential. And yep, it's Li Jiao in the corner, the legendary 2015 semi-finalist.
And of course,
from the Women's World Cup. And as they talk to their coaches, stick around. Game number 4 is coming up in just a bit.
Live again, live on television, live streaming on the internet. And it kicks off at 2 p.m. Be there or be square, ladies and gentlemen. Not to forget, we got our lucky draw coming up real soon. A couple of you lucky people could walk away with some wonderful prizes, courtesy our generous sponsors. Much respect to the organizers, Table Tennis Canada, and of course, ITTF, the governing body for table tennis. Game 4 is going to be underway in just a short bit. Just want to thank everyone here at the Pan Am Center in Markham for coming out and enjoying this wonderful evening with us. Give yourselves a round of applause.
So back for game number 4. The crowd applauding themselves. It's a 2-1 lead for ZHU Yuling and just barely in game number 3. We'll have to see what happens here in game 4. It's now Li Jie chasing, although she's used to it after game 1. Oh, she made the tough one. The first time we've seen her with a successful backhand attack. From that red side of the racket, the short pips, but it's the forehand that misses, surprisingly. Beautiful, confident shot. ZHU Yuling softly spinning it the other way for the angle. This is a shot that comes off of a 2-1 lead. If she's down 1-2, I have a funny feeling ZHU Yuling's not going to be so comfortable to take such a cool shot like that. Yeah, ZHU Yuling's getting loose now. The nerves settled down a little bit. So a cool attempt. You can see her shaking the nerves out of the arm a little bit, trying to stay loose. She's not going to make every shot, and this is part of playing a defender in general. They keep the ball on the table. This is another element of being in the right place at the right time. One more positive effect of ZHU Yuling keeping her ground there. Li Jie realizes if she makes her shot, ZHU Yuling's there to block and keep it in play. Oh no! If this one comes down, the crowd will go crazy. We've seen some high-risk shots from Li Jie come into play, but this is a blitz, a flat-hit counterattack. I think Contant Robino pulled one off like this. Guess it was even fancier when Robino did it. Oh, this one gets way loose. From this angle, it looked like Li Jie could have tried for an around-the-net shot, but that'd be a very low-percentage, risky shot. Just tries to keep the ball in play, and it floats long. The scores like this, it starts to feel like we're already in the next game. ZHU Yuling with a 3-1 lead. Not difficult to imagine at this point. The ZHU Yuling we know so well has been let free, has broken free from the chains of nerve. Even just the reaction of ZHU Yuling there, you can tell how much pressure is on her. Again, in this tournament, her history, 2015, had a lot of time being lectured by coaches.
8-3.
And that's 2 points in a row that this is not the body language of a player who's leading 8-3. Takes two this time. That cracking forehand shot was one of the cleanest forehand loops we've seen against a chopper today. Comes right back into play. Finally, the rally finishes with one quite similar. It's that short stroke chopping attempt that Li Jie successfully pulled off a few times. So now 7 game points for the top seed, ZHU Yuling. Once again, just a little bit late to get the racket in motion for that chop. Oh, a crushing forehand. The highest pitch crack sound we hear is right there from ZHU Yuling. 11-3, absolute domination in game number 4, and it's a 3-1 lead. Game 5 could be the last one of the night. If ZHU Yuling has anything to say about it, and she does, it will be. Let's see, Li Jie's got her work cut out for her. Game number 5 coming up right after this.
At the 2017 Uncle Pop ITTF Women's World Cup. Oh boy. China versus the Netherlands. Ladies and gentlemen, are you still with me? If you're still with me, I want you to say, hey-ya! Come on, I know we can do better than that. This is 2017 and it's the Women's World Cup. Let me hear you say, hey-ya! Okay, we're awake, I like that. Oh boy. Match number 5, we are live. And that's no jive.
Players back at the table for game number 5. Li Jie with her back against the ropes. Must win this game to see another or have a chance to win the match. Li Jie has to win every game for the rest of this match. Oh, fooled, clever play. ZHU Yuling has the time to see the body of her opponent. The peripheral vision here. Watching the ball, but also watching the opponent. Beautiful execution. And that's ZHU Yuling's point.
1-2.
You know, it felt like not long ago that Li Jie was leading and looking at a 2-1 lead. What, up 8-5 in the third game? And now it's a very different situation. One quick game in the last game. And now Li Jie's 1-3 down in points and in games.
Timeout.
The timeout called by Li Jiao, coach for Li Jie. Li Jiao had a very quiet sort of Irish exit, not telling anybody she was leaving the game. You didn't hear about it too much on the international scene, but I know I became a big fan after Sendai, the Women's World Cup in 2015. Li Jiao with a great sense of humor, very humble, enjoys the game, but has transitioned into becoming a coach despite probably still being able to compete in the top 50 in the world. I think if she were still playing now, she would be in the top 50. Trying to read the body language here. in terms of the spin coming in. One thing Li Jie did well, which can be very effective and sort of the whole point of having short pips to chop with, is hitting floating chops, dead chops that come back with a similar motion to the heavy chop, but with a different racket angle, so that the ball floats back onto the table. There's less cut on it, less rotation, and the opponent lifts it up too much or opens the racket too much if they're trying to push it back on the table. Whenever someone hits a floating chop like that, it's a good time to follow it up, come running in, ready for the attack. Thrilling points. It's not the first time we've seen Li Jie fall to the knee with that forehand chop. Keeps her in the point.
Let 3-2.
Oh, after all that work and the shoe screech, Li Jie's feelings very clear. Throws her head back there in disbelief and disappointment. Ball sits up a little bit. She's got the length of the table to play, but still couldn't do it. This time she does. Now again, for those of you a little bit newer to table tennis, that black rubber is the spinny side of the racket. Li Jie turns her racket around to serve with the backhand, putting the black rubber there, and quickly turns it around to put the black rubber on the forehand in case she needs to attack. And she's ready for it. Tied up at 4 points apiece. This is going to have to be the game, and it's working quite well. A recipe for success out here. Li Jie getting in early with that forehand attack. This is right. This is a good decision from Li Jie. She knows she needs to get the attack in there, even though she missed the shot. Had a clean, spinny ball that sat up a little bit to her forehand. Oh, no.
5-6.
Too close to the net. That ball's so shallow. It was very smart timing for ZHU Yuling to play the angle. And the real part that set it up was that it was played right on the middle there. It forced Li Jie to not get a lot of backswing and play an uncomfortable ball. Tough to keep it deep at the table, deep on the baseline. This is just textbook tactics out here. ZHU Yuling flawless in that point. Corner, too deep to the corner, one soft on the table.
5-9.
You can understand the frustration. Li Jie was onto something with those 3 points in a row. Out of the timeout, getting the forehand attack into play. ZHU Yuling 2 points away from securing a semifinal spot. And now it's just one. 5 match points for the last quarterfinal match of the night, and of the tournament for that matter. Li Jie with the serve here. What's it going to be? She's serving from the forehand. Get ready for a third ball attack. Nope. Right into the body, and ZHU Yuling keeps her on the defense, keeps her away from the table. And Li Jie clearly not thrilled about the way this match ended. But right now, ZHU Yuling is going to be able to rest, recover, and focus on tomorrow's match. Should be an exciting battle. Again, 4-1. And she's made it. ZHU Yuling has made it past her last performance. So what a day it has been from Markham, Canada. You've been watching the International Table Tennis Federation's Uncle Pop Women's World Cup. Live from Markham, Canada. We'll see if we're going to have an interview on court with ZHU Yuling. That has been the tradition. The crowd right now racing to not deal with traffic. Again, it's been a packed house, so they want to make sure that they get home, because tomorrow there's going to be a full day, 4 matches, and it will determine all 3 medals from bronze to the silver all the way to the GOLD. And the question is Liu Shiwen going to take her 5th? Is ZHU Yuling going to break, going to hold off the record and live up to her top seeding? Well, as they get into the raffle, it appears that there will not be an interview on court. So don't forget, drive safely, pong responsibly, and we'll look forward to seeing you. You know what? I just got word from my insider here that we are going to have an interview, so lucky you at home. Still drive safely and still pong responsibly, but stay right here, because we're going to have an on-court interview with ZHU Yuling. Always exciting to hear from the world's best players, the top seed in the tournament. And I'm sort of curious to hear what ZHU Yuling has to say as well. She makes her way back out to the court.
All right, ladies and gentlemen.
And here it comes.
ZHU Yuling. One time for her, please. Put your hands together. Oh, yes. Face the camera, Miss Yuling, of course. Excellent. So how do you feel? You just qualified for the semi-final. What is the feeling going through your mind right now?
想问你现在感觉怎么样？
我觉得现在已经10点多了，我觉得我是最后一个出场，所以我觉得感谢在座的所有的观众坚持到现在，谢谢。
She want to thank everyone in the audience to support her till this time of the day. It's 10 o'clock. Everybody, thank you.
Awesome, awesome. And you're a very fierce competitor. You played really, really hard today. And how are you going to prepare for tomorrow's semifinal? Tell us, how are you going to prepare?
你是一个非常厉害的选手今天打得特别棒。然后明天你怎么准备你明天的比赛？
回去我会认真的准备明天的比赛，然后希望明天自己能有更好的表现，为大家奉献一场精彩的比赛。
Excellent.
I'm gonna prepare my game for the best effort I can make, and I hope you guys, everyone, enjoy the game tomorrow.
Well, we know you're going to put your best foot forward, and we wish you all of the luck tomorrow, all of the best.
我们祝贺你明天取得最好的成绩，打出你最好的比赛。
谢谢你。
I know all your fans love you. Yes, ZHU Yuling. All the best to you.
So there you have it. ZHU Yuling, the winner of the last quarterfinal of the night, will be prepared and give her best fight. There's a lot of pressure after 2015. And as the top seed, we'll see what she comes back with tomorrow.
So, ladies and gentlemen,
so there you have it. It's been a lovely night. Let's take a look at the road to the semifinals. Here's the quarterfinal matchups from today that you saw. ZHU Yuling will be playing Cheng Ching from Chinese Taipei, training down in Kaohsiung. Miu Hirano, the defending champion from last year, will have a rematch against Liu Shiwen, who beat her in the 2017 Asian Championships, the only player to beat Miu Hirano from the Chinese national team in that tournament. Now, it's rare to be able to say that, but again, the top 2 seeds, both from China, on opposite ends of the draw, and it's up to Miu Hirano and Cheng Ching to upset the natural order and pull off any upsets here, but we will see. A lot of people curious to see ZHU Yuling and Liu Shiwen in the final. We're going to have some highlights from the last match right here for you to enjoy.